Hello guys and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to share with you how to export your video from Adobe After Effects in MP4. You see, usually when you export directly from After Effects, you're going to have a very heavy file and sometimes you don't have flexibility over the format. So I found a very short way of exporting your video using what we call Adobe Media Encoder. Okay, so you need to have Adobe Media Encoder installed in your computer. It's part of the Adobe package. So if you have the licensed Adobe package, you should have Adobe Media Encoder. And once you have it enabled on your system, you'll be able to export very nicely, just like the way you export in Adobe Premiere Pro. So to start with, all you need to do, let's say we have opened our Adobe Premiere Pro platform and we have imported some media and we've done some editing in the timeline and we are done successfully and completely. We are certain and convinced with what we have. The next thing is to export. So the usual way in which we export our video is to come to composition over here and just come down to add to render queue over here. So you just click on add to render queue and you can just go ahead and specify what location, output location, the output settings, the render settings. You can click on this and you can specify. Usually it just comes in best quality. You can just select the best quality and every other thing remain default 1920 by 1080. Everything other thing, the frame rate takes the computer frame rate, or if you want to use this frame rate is 30 frame rates per second. You want to change it, you can click to change or thereabout. Okay, so this is the usual procedure. You just click on this to accept the settings and then you can come all the way to specify the output. Where do you want to save it as? Okay, the location, you just click on this and you define the location where you want to save it. Along the way you give it the name, okay, and it's going to save it in .mov. Okay, .mov. So the downside to this is the file is usually very heavy, even though of higher quality, but of good quality, but it's really very heavy. So if you want to avoid this, you should just follow this method. And how is this method? All you need to do, just come to composition. Instead of going to the normal method of add to render queue, you just add to Adobe Media Encoder queue. So you just do it from here. Once you click on this, it's going to kickstart the Adobe Media Encoder for you. So you will have access to the exporting properties. Alternatively, you can still check it while you just add to render queue. You can see render here directly. You can render, or you can queue it in Adobe Media Encoder as well. This option is also available in case if you don't want to go through the composition and add to the render media encoder queue. You can still follow the same process. Come over here and say queue in AME, which is Adobe Media Encoder. It does the same thing. So here we are at Adobe Media Encoder. It has just opened the video that we want to export. You can see it over here. Okay, you can see it over here. So it says that it is ready. Once you have all the properties set up, you can just click on this green icon to start. But the first thing you need to pay attention to is the file format. You can check the file format from here directly by clicking on this H.264 and then to open the main exporting properties where you can define each and every feature you want your video to contain. And here it is. Just like you are in Adobe Premiere Pro, the same effect, the same output settings. You can specify the format from here. For example, right now it's set to H.264, which is the best quality and which is MP4 format. And then you can have, if you have any preset settings, you can apply them from here. And then you can specify the output name and location also from here by just clicking on this. You can specify the location and specify the name, and it's going to be in MP4. So assuming I'm keeping everything at default, the summary of all the features that I have are already here. And if you want to check the video properties, you can see everything is on 1920 by 1080. You can check on this, uncheck this, and you can vary the video settings. But I rather keep it at default 1920 because this is a YouTube video. You can check the audio quality as well. Everything I do normally keep it to default. You have the multiplexer and the publish other features over here. So down here you have the general overview and even an estimated size of what your video is going to be. It has been estimated to be 9 megabytes in size. So once you specify everything here and you are certain with all the features that you have, usually I don't touch anything, just for you to just have an idea or understanding of what we are doing. You can just click on OK and you will be returned back to the Adobe Media Encoder. You can change location from here by just clicking on this and it will take you back to where you can choose location. If you want to choose any location, you can just decide to you can just select that particular location and it will just be saved in that particular location that you have specified. So let's say YouTube, and then let's go to Adobe After Effects here and say save it in this location. So once you specify everything and you're certain with what you have, you can just come over here and just click on the green icon to start exporting your video. So let's start. You can see it, the rendering process over here. So it has finished the first one, which is at the top. You can queue even to have more videos exported. If you want to export more than one video, you can with the help of Adobe Media Encoder. It will help you to do it very, very nicely. And even at some point, you can close the Adobe After Effects and it will still continue with the rendering process, or you can minimize the encoder and go back to After Effects and continue with your other editings of other clips or the same clip. But once it is done with the exporting, you should be able to have your video in preview. So right now it has finished the export. So let's check the location to just have an idea of what we've exported. So this is it, Adobe After Effects, and you can see it here. Okay, so this is it. Yeah, so it has exported correctly and exactly what we have. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a bit about how to use Adobe Media Encoder to export videos from After Effects in MP4 formats. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to always hit the like and subscribe buttons to stay connected to this channel for more videos like this. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.